The Lord be with you.
and with your spirit.
From the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus told his disciples this parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out at dawn to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with them for the usual daily wage, he sent them into his vineyard. Going out about 9 o'clock, the landowner saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and he said to them, "You too, go into my vineyard, and I will give you what is just." So they went off, and he went out again around noon and around 3 o'clock, and did likewise. Going out about 5 o'clock, the landowner found others standing around and said to them, "Why do you stand here idle all day?" They answered, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You too, go into my vineyard." When it was evening, the owner of the vineyard said to the foreman, "Summon the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and ending with the first." When those who had started about 5 o'clock came, each received the usual daily wage. So when the first came, they thought that they would receive more. But each of them also got the usual wage. And on receiving it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, "These last ones work only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who bore the day's burden and the heat." He said to one of them in reply, "My friend, I am not cheating you. Did you not agree with me for the usual daily wage? Take what is yours and go. What if I wish to give this last one the same as you? Or am I not free to do as I wish with my own money? Are you envious because I am generous? Thus, the last will be first, and the first will be last." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
In the Gospel reading, Jesus tells us a story of workers who were hired at different times throughout the day and were all paid the same wage. Those who were hired earlier agreed to receive, let's say, 1,000 pesos a day. But when they saw that those workers who were hired later received the same amount, they became discontented and complained that the employer, the landowner, was unfair. Brothers and sisters, this parable in today's gospel addresses the issue of envy and the tendency to compare ourselves with others, which is a common struggle in our lives. We often find ourselves looking at what others have and feeling discontented with our own blessings. In this parable, the employer represents God. The workers represent us, his children, and the usual daily wage symbolizes the abundant blessings God bestows on us, and the different times at which the workers were hired represent the various stages of our lives and the diverse path we take. Now, let us consider the reaction or attitude of those workers who were hired first, who were hired earlier. Instead of rejoicing in the fact that they had received what they had agreed upon, they allowed envy to cloud their hearts. They focused on what others receive rather than being grateful for what they have received themselves. As followers of Christ, we are expected to possess a different attitude. We are called to cultivate a heart of gratitude and contentment. We should remember that every blessing, no matter how big or small, is God's gift. Rather than comparing ourselves with others, we should focus on our own journey and appreciate the unique opportunity and blessing we have been given. And in order to nurture, to develop the virtues of gratitude and contentment in our heart, we may do two things. First, let us cultivate a daily gratitude practice. That is, we must set aside a few moments each day to reflect on and express gratitude for the specific blessings in our life. This can be done through prayer. Some people do it by journal writing or simply speaking words of thanks to God. Practicing gratitude involves acknowledging or expressing our thankfulness for the various aspects of life, such as health, families, relationship, talents, opportunities, or material possessions. It is recognizing that these blessings are not entitlements, but rather gifts from a generous and loving God. Gratitude helps us develop a humble and appreciative outlook, fostering a deeper sense of connection with God and others. Second, in order to develop the virtues of gratitude and contentment, we must avoid comparison and envy. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we must focus on our own journey and the unique path that God has set for us. We must rejoice and celebrate with the successes and joys of others without letting it diminish our sense of contentment. When we say contentment, it is a state of being satisfied and at peace with what we have rather than constantly desiring more and comparing ourselves with others. Contentment is rooted in the belief that God has a unique plan for each one of us. And recognizing this, we are encouraged to embrace our own journey and trust in God's providence. Contentment does not imply complacency or lack of ambition, but rather a sense of inner peace and trust in God's goodness. Practicing gratitude and contentment can enhance our mental well-being by reducing symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. It promotes positive emotions and increased resilience and fosters a more optimistic outlook on life. Practicing gratitude and contentment increase happiness because here we shift our focus from what we don't have, from what we lack, to what is already present in our life. By appreciating and acknowledging the positives, we experience greater happiness and life satisfaction. And gratitude and contentment also help us cope with stress more effectively. They shift our attention away from negative experiences and worries, promoting a more positive and balanced mindset. Thus, brothers and sisters, by integrating gratitude and contentment into our daily life, we can experience a greater sense of peace, joy, and spiritual growth. Gratitude and contentment help us nurture a deeper appreciation for God's blessing and a trust in His plan for us.